This is a quick flyover of my new large format 3D printer design. It's got about a 280 millimeter by 280 by 280 millimeter build volume. Look it over from the top and sides here. Basic construction is laser cut acrylic panels with square steel tubes forming the corner posts. The Z platform is lifted by 3 lead screws, and the corners are actually the build plate is actually supported horizontally by the corners of the steel rods, and you can kind of see in there there's a double row bearing, U-groove bearing that rides on the corner. You know, the different corners, this corner has the bearing held rigidly with a little block there. This other corner has a little bit of a flexure built into it, so it's got 1 degree of freedom. And if we move over to the other 2 corners, these support blocks have 2 degrees of freedom and actually just spring load the entire build plate against the other two rails. Right now I just have a glass build plate. I still have to work on getting a heated build plate for this. Moving up top here, the carriage is driven by a cross rod design, and each rod is driven by a belt, and you see there's a gear on the end of each rod that runs in a rack. The gear actually rolls on the rack, and on the other side of the rod you'll see there's another gear and another rack, so only one side of the rod is driven, and the racks are used to keep the rods running parallel. So basically you've got that for the X, and same for the Y axis. Right now using a printer board for driving the whole thing, and you can see back there a couple of standard NEMA 17 stepper motors. One more thing here, on the build plate, for leveling the build plate, on each of the threaded rods, the plate is supported by this little knob that has a 1/4 20 nut built into it, and you can, these orange things are locked into place by a couple of screws. If you loosen those screws, you can then use these little orange thumb wheels to basically tweak the plate up and down. So there are 3 of those, 1 on each screw. You can see that far one over there, and that's what you use for fine-tuning the plate leveling. And now we have a few test motions of the printer here. Get this started. This is moving at 500 millimeters per second with an acceleration of 4,000 millimeters per second squared. And here's the Z-axis moving up and down.